Are you struggling with building the wealth you deserve? And do you wish you could just stop worrying about having enough money all the time? Yeah, I know how you feel. So let's talk about money habits that are simple but can make all the difference for your financial future. If you're new here, I'm Sophia. I hate living frugal and I love to build wealth. I also love to talk about money habits. So let's do it. Number one is have a strong reason. And to be honest, I didn't have that in the beginning. So I had read books about investing and about financial freedom already when I was a teenager. And I kind of knew that investing was important, but it was because I have been told so. And at some point I researched, I figured out my investment strategy and I started to invest. But now that I look back, I dabbled. I started way later than I could have because I procrastinated for so long. And even when I did invest, I invested way less than I could have at the time. And it wasn't until this one exercise I did it was a personal development course. And the exercise was, what's your goal within the next 10 years? So what would you like to achieve in the next 10 years? And to be honest, I had never thought about that question before. And the answer I came up with is, I want to be financially free so that work becomes optional and is not a must anymore. And that for me was a strong enough reason to really take a look at, okay, what can I do to achieve this goal in the next 10 years? So the thing is that when random people on the internet, like me, say that you should get out of debt or you should invest your money, this will probably not be a strong enough reason for you. Because it's just the how do I get there and not the why do I want to get there. But for example, I don't want to have money problems ever again in my life. That's a strong reason that will make you go above and beyond to reach that goal. And with a strong reason like that, you will automatically find the ways of how you can achieve it. And I mean, it's like in almost all other areas in our life as well. Managing our money is about taking action. But taking action also takes energy. And that energy has to come from somewhere. And to have a strong reason usually provides that energy for you. Number two, leveraging milestones. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with this book. Now, just in case you're not, real quick. In this book, James Clear writes about how habits are formed and how it's really the small steps that we take every day that will produce the big results in a few years. So it's a lot about the mechanisms of how we can change our behavior. And one component within this behavior change is reward and punishment. So as long as doing anything positive for your financial journey feels like a punishment for you, you're not going to do it because you don't want to get punished. None of us do want to get punished. We avoid any action that only slightly runs the risk of us getting punished. And once you understand that, you can use that knowledge to your advantage, because then how you can change is instead you think about how can you reward yourself? How can you make this a reward, or how can you make this rewarding? So how I recommend you do this is for every little step you take and every little step you achieve or every little milestone you achieve, do something you enjoy, because by that you are rewarding yourself for what you just did, because that's going to keep the motivation up. And not just that, it will also make the journey fun. And isn't life about fun and enjoyment and positivity? And when you start doing this, keep in mind to choose the steps you take as little as possible so they are realistic and they are achievable. I found this picture here on Pinterest that I think demonstrates this really nicely. The more milestones you set for yourself, the faster you'll get there. By the way, if you need help defining milestones for your financial journey, I created a checklist with 6 essentials to reach financial security. Financial security is what I call your first step to wealth. It's free, there's a link down below, and if you want, you can use it as reference for setting your own milestones. Next is define defaults. Now, I love defaults. Let me tell you why. The main reason is the law of least effort. We already talked about energy. Now, when given a choice, we humans will always choose the easiest one and or the most efficient one, because it is a basic human nature to save energy, to save time, and to save resources. And making a decision takes energy. Changing behavior takes energy. So what we want to do is we want to find ways how we can reduce the effort of doing the thing that in the long term will get us to our goals, to the thing that we want. And in my opinion, setting defaults are one of the best ways to do that. So what do I mean by that? A default is the thing you usually do. It's the thing that you do in the majority of cases. And then the exception is the thing that you sometimes do. So the exception is when you deviate from the default. Now, one example from my own life is exercise. I remember when I started working as a doctor, I had trouble working out regularly. Now, before, when I still was a student, that was no problem because the gym I went to was on the way from university to my home. So on my way home, I just got out of the subway, worked out, and afterwards got in again and went home. But then when I started working, first of all, the gym was not on the way anymore. And then I also was so tired after a day and I just wanted to lay on the couch and chill and do nothing. But at some point I also felt bad because, I knew that it's important for my health. And I tried, 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It didn't work. Then I said, okay, maybe 2 times a week, Wednesday and Friday. And I tried to set different dates or, set dates. It also didn't work. And then what I tried, and I think it was even after I watched a video about a morning routine, I started doing a workout in the morning. And that worked incredibly well for me. I felt energized. I was happy that I did it. And I also tried different rhythms, like again, this like Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing. And what I found out next is that for me, it's actually easiest to work out every day. And it's always the same. Monday is legs, Wednesday is abs, Friday is arms and back, and every other day, so Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I do yoga with Adrian. And those exercises are not long. They're maybe, 15, 20 to 30 minutes, sometimes 35. And to make this as easy as possible, I also have lists on my phone with the exercises I do. And then I don't have to think. I know it's Monday. I'm opening the legs workout thingy on my phone and I do the exercise. And that has become my default. So no decision, no resistance, no friction. I just do it. I also have a mat already rolled out, so there's really almost nothing I need to do to go through with this. Now, when I don't feel well or I'm away, I don't exercise. But then this is the exception. And then as soon as I'm back or as soon as I feel better, I start again. And it also doesn't matter when I start. If I start on a Wednesday, I start with abs. If I start on a Thursday, I start with yoga. And you get the idea. Now, I think one of the reasons this works for me so well is because I am a morning person. So for you, that might not be the case. And I think what works for you is a really important part. And that is why I think there's a lot of value in trying different things and find ways for yourself to do what needs to be done and to not so much, listen to other people. Of course you can, I also heard it from other people, and that way I know, okay, there's these 100 different versions of doing this. And then you can try the different things and then just keep doing what worked for you. Now, when it comes to money, one of the most powerful defaults you can set for yourself is 10% plus of my income leaves my checking account right after I receive my income towards my investment account. And then also gets invested immediately. Because that is a default that automatically builds wealth for you. You set it up once and then it's done. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to make a decision. And that is the power of defaults. I have the same with an investment strategy. I decided on a strategy once. That means putting in the time and putting in the effort to research and to see the different options out there. But then at some point I made the decision. I picked the one that resonated most with me. So I also put the energy in once and then I set it all up and now it runs on autopilot. And now I look at my investments 4 times a year because I calculate my net worth on a quarterly basis. Another example, if you are in debt, a default could be I pay with my debit card in most of the cases, because then the money leaves my bank account immediately and I can see how much I have at my disposal. And paying with a credit card becomes the exception. And you can even make a list of what the exception is. So use the power of defaults. Another habit that will set you up for financial success is to train your mind. Now, a part of the steps in building wealth are simply math. Putting in the action, doing the things we just talked about. Another part of building wealth involves our mind. And these are aspects like whether we think we are able to do it or not, whether we think we deserve it or not, whether we think it's possible or not. So what we think about ourselves and also about money really sabotage us reaching our goals. It can even sabotage us setting our goals in the first place. And that's why training the mind is an important habit in building wealth. And there are many different methods to do that. It can be as simple as journaling. So do a reflection and ask yourself why it is that you do certain things or that you don't do certain things when it comes to your money. It can be listen to affirmations and planting positive and empowering thoughts about us and about money into our head, into our subconscious mind. And by that, override the negative ones. This can be meditation and visualization. So to go into a relaxed state of mind and to imagine your financial future in front of your inner eye. And also one of my favorite ones is to practice gratitude and to think about or write down all the things that you are grateful for. And all of those are more or less beginner practices that you can relatively easy integrate into your life. And then once you've implemented all the other habits that we talked about up until now, it's probably a good idea to also find a way to measure them, to measure your progress. Because looking at our progress is another layer of motivation that we can add to our process, our financial process. And I think the most efficient way to do that when it comes to personal finance is to calculate your net worth. Just a quick reminder, your net worth is all of your assets, so everything that you own minus your liabilities, so everything that you owe. That, in my opinion, is the most accurate and also most transparent version to measure your wealth. I do this 4 times a year, so at the beginning of every quarter I have an Excel sheet that I have used for the past years for that automatically calculates everything together and also has a graph down below where I can see it grow or not. If you want, you can use it as well. I linked it in the video description. But a real review of your financial journey can be more than just calculating your net worth. So you can do this more in depth. For example, you can look at your debt in a more detailed version. You can look at the goals that you set for yourself. You can do a reflection about if you reach them or not, and also then why did you not reach them, and what are the steps you can do to reach them the next time. It can also be to think about how happy you are with the financial decisions that you made, and if you're not, then why that is and what you could change. And it could also be to think about possible defaults that you can set for yourself to get there easier. You can do the review as often as it makes sense for you. What I love about it, it really only takes a few minutes per week or a few hours, maybe a month or a few hours after 1 year. And it's very just a limited time frame, but that can move the needle so much. You can adjust the direction, and in that short time period, you can make all the decisions that need to be made and then set them up and be done with it, so that it again fits the law of least effort. For some more money-related bad habits to avoid, you can watch this video next. Otherwise, thank you for watching, thank you for spending your precious time with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.